Sumatran elephant born at the safari park west of Jakarta is bound to make you sigh. If you like a wedding, we've got an unusual one. 2 donkeys tie the knot. A raccoon gets to the end of a wild ride on a pig in Germany. And of course, no program would be complete without a fashion parade for cats. All that and more, Animalia.
Hamjambo wa Kenya wenzangu. Mimi ni Mheshimiwa Mize. Ninalotaka kuambia ni kuwasihi ya kwamba corona iko. Na ili tupigane nayo na tuishinde, ukitoka nje, ukifika kule nje, kuna hata maji yamewekwa nje na serikali. Unanawa mikono kwa maji na sabuni. Na maji yenyewe yawe ni yale ya kutiririka. Pale unaponawa, unaangalia usafi wako wa mikono, unaosha huku nje ya viganja, unasugua katikati ya vidole, pia huku kwenye kucha, manake uchafu wajifiche huku kwenye kucha. Uoshe, kisha sunza na maji yanayotiririka. Maji yakimwaika, kusema kweli tutashinda. Tuzingatie na tutii sheria. Corona tunaishinda na baadaye maisha yatarudi kama kawaida wa Kenya.
Wiki hii kwenye mkulima.
Okay, aina hii mpunga unaweza kukuza pali popote Kenya, lakini inataka altitude ya not more than 2100 meters above sea level.
Kisha
tunataka kuencourage youth wapende agriculture.
Usikose kujiunga nami Jumapili saa 9:30 nikupe uondo kamili.
On the next episode,
woman invited him to breakfast.
But things are not the way you are making them out to be, madam.
Oh,
Your
really?
Uncle Julio only came over to ask about...
What gives you the right to do things as if this house belonged to you?
Isn't that Roxana, Antonia's ex?
Yes, that's her. You saying that she and my husband saw each other secretly?
Looks like they did. I want you to know that whatever I do with that money, it will be for your own good and well-being, believe me.
Where's your friend?
He's not here.
I don't believe you.
Help, please! Someone help me!
Shut up!
El paraíso
In Love with Ramon.
As Kenya and the rest of the world grapple with the ominous cloud of COVID-19, technology is offering the much-needed glimmer of hope. Besides, clinical management of coronavirus technology has brought forth options such as online classes, Zoom meetings, and e-commerce to cope with the new normal occasioned by the virus. Join me, Purity Museo, this Sunday at 9 p.m. for an exclusive one-on-one interview with ICT Cabinet Secretary Jumbo Sheru on just how technology is reshaping the future.
Now, I want to kill him with my bare hands.
I have not done anything. Nothing. Then why are you hiding here? I am a shepherd.
Akramak?
He's the traitor we are looking for.
Next on.
Ya muhimu kwanza ni kujua hali yako ya status ya HIV.
I have not done anything. Nothing. Then why are you hiding here? I am a shepherd.
Akramak?
He's the traitor we are looking for.
Love bila gloves haiwezi. Rieni kujua.
Afya bora, maisha bora. Jipime, jiinue.
Wiki hii kwenye mkulima.
Okay, aina hii mpunga unaweza kukuza pali popote Kenya, lakini inataka altitude ya not more than 2100 meters above sea level.
Kisha
tunataka kuencourage youth wapende agriculture.
Usikose kujiunga nami Jumapili saa 9:30 nikupe uondo kamili.
This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
Pole gani? Umechelewa. Too little, too late.
No.
Umekuja mama ameshafariki tumeshamzika. No nini?
Arevi.
Hapana saki.
Naelewa. Msitoche mimi na wewe nafikiri unajua mimi na wewe ni watu gani ambao tunavoishi mimi na.
Wafanya nini hapa?
Kaka basi watu wakutana.
Sina haja ya kusalimiana na wewe, sawa? Ondoka! Unaniangalia.
Sule. Mbona mabega yanashuka hivyo? Kunani?
Yeyote aliye na kinga hafifu mwilini yuko katika hatari ya kuambukizwa COVID-19. Hao ni kama watu ambao wanaishi na magonjwa kama vile virusi vya HIV, kansa, TB, kisukari, miongoni mwa magonjwa mengine. Lazima wazingatie matibabu ili kuboresha kinga mwilini. Lazima wahakikishe wamepata dawa ipasavyo. Tembelea kliniki yako au kituo cha afya kilicho karibu nawe kwa maelezo kamili kuhusu jinsi ya kupata dawa. Pia wasaidie jamaa na rafiki kupata dawa. Dumisha mawasiliano nao na ufuate mwongozo wa kiafya kutoka kwa kituo cha afya ili kujikinga na virusi vya korona. Pata habari kuhusu COVID-19 kupitia vyanzo vinavyoaminika. Piga 719 au bonyeza *719#. COVID-19 inazuilika. Jilinde, linda familia na jamii. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na serikali ya Kenya.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Channel 1 Lunchtime News. I do hope you're enjoying your Sunday wherever you're joining us from. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter is Byron Aboli. This afternoon we have prepared a comprehensive bulletin for you. And to kick us off, President Uhuru Kenyatta has commended Africa's concerted response to COVID-19, saying measures being implemented by African countries are helping slow down its spread. The head of state pointing out that despite limited resources, the continent had rolled out proactive measures that were helping save lives. As the world strives to mitigate the coronavirus pandemic, President Uhuru Kenyatta has lauded the continent's concerted response to COVID-19, pointing out that measures being put in place by African countries have played a pivotal role in slowing down the spread of the virus. President Kenyatta saying despite limited resources, the continent had rolled out proactive measures that are helping to save lives.
For a continent of 1.2 billion people, we have about 400,000 confirmed cases and just a little bit over 10,000 deaths. Every single life that we lose is unfortunate. But we must also thank God that we have been in a position to reduce the death rate that has been associated with many other parts of our globe.
Speaking at State House, Nairobi, during a webinar on post-COVID-19 reconstruction organized by the African chapter of the International Summit Council for Peace, the head of state warned against complacency in Africa's COVID-19 response, saying the pandemic is likely to get worse in coming months.
And we need to actively prepare for a looming crisis. We need, as a continent, to continue to learn from each other.
He listed peer learning, data-driven decision-making, pragmatism, and regular and transparent communications as some of the best practices that will stand Africa in a better position to defeat coronavirus.
We need to remain pragmatic about managing containment measures and always maintain regular and transparent communication with our citizens, because at the end of the day, it is our citizens who are going to be critical in fighting this pandemic.
This even as he held religious institutions saying they have been among key actors in containing the spread of COVID-19.
Religious organizations provide critical outreach to our most vulnerable households and have an extensive network of faith-based health and education infrastructure that I believe will be critically important in us being able to respond to this disease.
Moving forward, the president urged African leaders to continue working together with the support of partners in crafting interventions that enhance resilience of the continent's vulnerable populations. And a long-standing system of resolving conflicts among the Somali community is receiving disapproval, with its opponents blaming it for increased human rights abuses among communities living in northern Kenya. The practice, commonly referred to as masla, is said to have been commercialized, with elders allegedly benefiting at the expense of victims. Civil society groups say the alternative dispute resolution mechanism has seen social ills, including defilement, such as punishment meted on perpetrators was not severe enough to deter such crimes.
Justice for rape and defilement victims in parts of Wajir and its environs has become elusive thanks to the masla system of resolving disputes. As victims are forced to live with the hidden scars of their ordeal with no justice forthcoming, elders here appear to be reaping big. Cases that are supposed to be heard in court are being heard under acacia trees by elders under the masla system, with priority given to compensation.
And it's a very just and beautiful justice system if it's not commercialized. Lakini siku hizi dunia imekuwa mingi, watu wameanza kuingia town, commercialization lazima itaingia ndani.
So it seems that a lot of injustices is currently going on, is being done in the name of maslaha.
Cases of defilement and rape in the region are said to be on the rise, with other families opting to go the masla way for fear that reporting such matters to authorities would bring shame to the family. Wajir County Branch Maendeleo ya Wanawake Chair Rukia Abdullahi says the alternative dispute resolution mechanism has left vulnerable groups at a disadvantage.
Who benefits from the maslaha? It's the elders and the person who committed the crime. The girl down there has nothing. And then her life is also shattered. Because we live in a society that don't keep things secret. You know? They will just say, that is the lady who was raped the other day.
If a rape case happens or a girl is defiled, as long as it is an issue concerning women, you see all the men camp on one side.
Out of the proceeds from a case under the mechanism, 40% is said to go to the elders, with the rest being subdivided among the families of the victim, with women not allowed to question the process.
Family ya mwanaume anakuambia sisi maneno tumemaliza, wanakuonyesha madharau. Wasai wanakuambia kuna makati mwanamke anatawala. Kwani sisi hatuna haki?
And with the recent defilement case involving an assistant chief, County Criminal Investigation Officer Henry Ndombe has distanced police officers from claims of abetting the practice of masla.
We are not going to allow issues to do with the masla to interfere with the way we do investigations. Let them do their masla, but as the law will take its course.
Nancy Okware, Channel 1 News.
Well, thank you so much, Nancy Okware, for that report. Now, on to a separate matter. Catholic bishops are opposing sections of the reproductive healthcare bill before Parliament on ground it fails to protect the right to life. Now, speaking during the Sunday service, the clergy also warned the Ministry of Education to provide age-appropriate content to school-going children that uphold good social and moral culture.
In what appears to be the new normal, churches across the country on Sunday held their services yet again through different media and online platforms. The Catholic bishop striking a message on the importance of curbing social and moral evils. In a message from the Catholic bishops of Kenya, delivered by Reverend Maurice Mohatia Makumba of the Nakuru Diocese, the bishops have challenged the current reproductive health care bill in the Senate, emphasizing on the importance of dignity of life.
The Catholic bishops are particularly concerned about the ongoing debate on the reproductive health care bill number 23 of 2019. We note that some sections of this bill go against the Constitution of Kenya in regard to the right to life and the protection of the children and the family.
The bishops also urged the Ministry of Education through the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development to provide age-appropriate content that upholds good social and moral culture.
For the responsibility of the Ministry of Education through the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development to provide age-appropriate and value-based human sexuality education to learners. All stakeholders must be engaged in this process.
Meanwhile, at All Saints Cathedral, messages of faith took precedence among calls for Kenyans to adhere to the measures by government to contain the spread of coronavirus.
A consistent faith, because you cannot actually deny what does not exist. You know, it's the same thing as the way people are denying that there is no corona. When we think about our life of faith, we are called upon to produce, and more so to produce the fruit of the Spirit.
For Channel 1 News, I'm Serafina Robbie.
Well, that report by Serafina Robbie brings us to our first break here on our Lunchtime News. Don't go too far, we'll be right back.
Gaki, wawezaje unituangia simu saa hii Gaki? Saa zile tu nimewekelea matoke yangu kwa meza. Niko tayari kukula, wewe ukikula kwako mimi ukusumbua. Gaki, hii simu sisiki yake ya nani? Mimi ukusumbua ukikula kwako. Basi wewe ngoja nimalize matoke yangu tena utanituangia.
Kupata matoke, bonyeza *811 *965#. Bonyeza *811 *965#.
On the next episode,
Woman invited him to breakfast. But things are not the way you are making them out to be, madam.
Oh,
Your
really?
Uncle Julio only came over to ask about...
What gives you the right to do things as if this house belonged to you?
Isn't that Roxana, Antonia's ex?
Yes, that's her. You saying that she and my husband saw each other secretly?
Looks like they did.
I want you to know that whatever I do with that money, it will be for your own good and well-being, believe me.
Where's your friend?
He's not here.
I don't believe you.
Help, please! Someone help me!
Shut up!
El paraíso
In love with Ramon.
Welcome back. Now let's continue our coverage where A security guard is nursing serious injuries following a raid at St. Peter's Catholic Church in Majengo, NAROK County. Now, the guard was injured after armed robbers broke into the church, attacked him before making away with electronics and church offerings. The guard is admitted at NAROK County Referral Hospital.
A house of God. The gangsters broke into St. Peter's Catholic Church in NAROK County and made away with the church offerings and newly purchased TV sets.
Kitika sana kuona waizi walikuja wakaivamia na wakaiba vitu mingi electronics na wakaweza kuvamia watchman wetu kwa jina Richard, hata saa hii ako hospitali anaendelea na matibabu.
Veronica Gashoka has called on the police to investigate the matter with speed and arrest the criminals who also caused grievous harm to the church night guard.
Ni jambo la unyama na tunaomba serikali ishughulikie na iweze kuangalia watu ni kina nani hao wamefanya mambo ya unyama hivyo.
She said the guard is nursing deep cuts on his head and neck. Martin Orega, who is the peace chairman at the church, said that there has been a lot of insecurity in Majengo following the curfew, calling on police officers to be vigilant and ensure that they increase the night patrols to prevent such incidents.
Tunasikitika sana kwa tukio ambayo imefanyika hapa kanisani mwetu kuhusu uvunjaji wa vitu za kanisa na pia askari akaumizwa ambaye ni watchman. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali waimarishe doria usiku zaidi kwa sababu ni wakati wa curfew.
Caroline Kamar reporting for Channel 1 News.
Well, as we continue with our coverage, still on COVID-19, Garissa County COVID-19 preparedness received a shot in the arm following a partnership deal with UNICEF. The deal includes sensitizing the community on prevention measures as well as provision of hand washing equipment. Now, Beatrice Gatonye with the details of county preparedness just a day after the country recorded the highest cases standing at 389.
President Uhuru Kenyatta is expected to address the nation on Monday as the 30-day period for counties to boost their COVID-19 preparedness expires. And as the country prepares for the address, county governments continue to look for ways to boost their capacity to cope with the expected increase in COVID-19 cases based on projections by the Ministry of Health, which indicate the number of COVID-19 infections will peak in August. In Garissa County, the county's Director of Health, Abdullahi Dawood, says they have partnered with UNICEF to raise awareness on the virus.
I know there are many people who are a bit relaxed because it's as if they are becoming familiar with the virus. This virus is never familiar with anybody. It is killing quite a number of people. We know our economy has been affected, but please, we are not yet out of the hook. So we are requesting our communities to adhere to the Ministry of Health guidelines.
The deal will also see the distribution of water equipment in all health facilities and other high concentration areas like the markets in Garissa sub-county. He revealed that 11 of the 31 COVID-19 positive cases in the country were people who had escaped lockdown protocols in other areas.
As a department, we want to ensure that we are mobilizing and educating our community and providing them with the relevant messages every day. And our public health department will be going around every other day and every hour. So please listen to the message and follow the messages as required by the health department.
Some 20 other cases were detected at the refugee camps from refugees who arrived from Somalia. Dawood said the health department had traced and put under quarantine contacts of those who had tested positive. They are also screening health personnel and testing those arriving into the country from the porous Somalia border. Beatrice Gatonyengetich, Channel 1 News.
Moving on, fears of a possible eruption of waterborne diseases and malaria remains rife in Tana River County following recent floods that have displaced over 48,000 people. Now, the problem is further compounded by failure by area residents to seek medical attention at local health facilities, ostensibly for fear of contracting COVID-19 disease.
Interior Chief Administrative Secretary Hussein Dado was in Tana River County
to assess the flood situation and efforts the two levels of government to mitigate the challenges faced by area residents. The floods, which have affected parts of Tana River, Garissa and Lamu counties, now posing a health risk of possible disease outbreaks.
Wananchi wale wengi wako kwa kambi kwa ajili ya mafuriko ya juzi, na sasa kutakuwa na mkurupuko wa malaria. Hata dalili zimeanza kuonekana.
The former Tana River governor, observing that persons displaced by the floods now living in camps were at risk of contracting waterborne diseases amid fears of visiting health centers for fear of being tested for COVID-19.
Lakini cha kusikitisha ni kwamba watu wengi wakishikwa na malaria wanaogopa kwenda hospitali ili wasije wakapimwa corona ama wakakutwa na corona kulingana na uoga wao.
Datho said the government would do its part to caution area residents from the adverse effects of floods, even as he appealed to humanitarian organizations and well-wishers to also intervene and help in the reconstruction process. The most affected areas include Tana Delta and the Upper Tana. Kevin Washira, Lunchtime News.
Now, Housing and Urban Development Principal Secretary Charles Hinga has reiterated the government's commitment to deliver on the affordable housing promise. Speaking during the launch of the Samara Estate project in Kiambu County, Hinga said the government has introduced a host of incentives that will ensure creation of opportunities for low-income earners to enable them to afford houses.
The Affordable Housing Project was launched in December 2017 as one of the national government's 4 pillars of growth in the President's Big Four plan. The program promises to deliver 500,000 affordable homes over a 5-year period and involves a number of incentives and supports to enable the delivery of the affordable housing in Kenya. Housing and Urban Development Principal Secretary Charles Hinga says the government's plan is well on course with other players joining the grand initiative.
It is the quickest journey out of poverty. We see that majority of our people, even those who own, end up owning them towards the end of their useful economic life. The effort that government partnering with private sector have put in together, all right, to make home ownership, to be a reality, all right. There are so many incentives, but if we can be able to simplify the message and say that if you're paying rent for 5,000 shillings, you can convert your rent to a mortgage.
Speaking during the launch of the Samara Estate project in Kiambu County, a premier luxury low-cost housing project, Hinga said the government and stakeholders are ready to deliver the promise of 500,000 homes under the affordable housing program.
I hope that this development and others are going to take off. We have got this type of developments. We have 124,000 units that are coming online. 124,000 units. This being one of them.
Speaking at the ceremony, Tushia Global Holdings Chairman Bishop Mark Kariuki said the private sector remains committed in the resolve by ensuring community development through strengthening private-public partnerships with the national and county government. China Building Technology Kenya's Chief Executive Officer Tom Kimani Zeng said his company, which is financing the project, will complete construction works within 3 years. The estate will house close to 2,000 units retailing at 2.95 million and 3.95 million shillings for the 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom apartments respectively. Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.
Well, thank you so much, Yusuf Farah, for that report. Now, Taita Taveta Governor Granton Samboja has called on his Makueni counterpart, Kivutha Kibwana, to fast-track efforts aimed at resolving the border dispute between Taita Taveta, Makueni and Kwale counties. Speaking after signing a joint boundary dispute resolution agreement between Kajiado and Taita Taveta, Governor Samboja said the ongoing boundary disputes between the 4 counties is hampering development in the region.
The border dispute between Kajiado and Taita Taveta County has finally been resolved thanks to a truce agreement between the 2 county bosses. Speaking while signing the joint agreement between the 2 counties, Taita Taveta Governor Granton Samboja said that border disputes hinder development plans and called on his Makueni counterpart Kivutha Kibwana and Salim Mvuri of Kwale to emulate the truce to amicably resolve the ongoing wrangles between Taita Taveta, Makueni and Kwale counties.
Maana leo natoa mkono wa buheri kwa mwenzangu wa Makueni, Mheshimiwa Kivuza Kibwana, weka timu yako tutatue maneno haya, kwa sababu ni wazi ya kwamba shida ya mpaka si ya wananchi hawa. Shida ya mpaka ni mabwenyenye viongozi kama sisi ambao tunafikiria tutaishi daima dawama dunia hii. Dunia hii tutaiacha, ardhi ya Mungu itabaki, tusikosanishe wananchi. Mkoloni hakuwa mjinga akitupatia uhuru kwa kutuonyesha mipaka yetu inapita wapi.
Kajiado Governor Joseph Olelenku saying the leadership of Makueni and Kwale should focus on alternative resolution mechanisms other than judicial processes which take long to be resolved.
Lakini kwa sababu ndugu yangu Granton Samboja na mimi tulisema tuwaachie wafanyikazi wetu wafanye kazi kwa njia ya sheria, kwa njia ya haki, bila kuweka siasa ndani yake, ndio shida hii imetatuliwa kwa chini ya wiki mbili.
Kajiado South Deputy County Commissioner Lawrence Kinywa applauded the move by the two governors, urging other leaders to emulate them.
Wenyeji wanasema inatusaidia kwa wafamisi wa ardhi. Maana kumekuwa na wafamisi wengi wa ardhi ambao wamekuja kutoka mbali, wamekuja kufamia hiyo ardhi na wenyewe wako hapo hawana kitu.
Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.
Now let's shift gears where residents drawn from the northern part of Kenya are up in arms over the length of time it takes to acquire their identification documents. In Isiolo, the locals claim that the national identity cards take up to 2 years or longer to process, a situation that has left majority of youth ineligible for majority of state programs. Isiolo residents have decried the long period of time the youth are forced to wait before the national identity cards are processed in the county. The residents concerned that due to lack of the all-important document, they have been missing out on various government initiatives made to transform the fortunes of young people in northern Kenya.
Tunataka kusikia vijana wetu wamepata vitambulisho na hiyo vitambulisho imesaidia wa kujoin university. Tunataka kusikia vijana wetu wamepata kitambulisho na hiyo kitambulisho wanapata na kibarua na kazi.
Led by Isiolo Parents Association Chairman Ismail Galma, the residents argued that the process of issuance of ID cards takes up to 2 years, whereas the same process takes less than a week in other parts of the country.
Wale vijana wali apply 3 years, 4 years kitambulisho, wote wanaambiwa watarudia fresh. Sisi kwa hiyo tunaona kwanza ni dhulma kubwa sana. Kwa sababu huyo mtoto wakati alikata kitambulisho hiyo tuseme 2018 ama 2015, wakati hiyo alikuwa na 18. Saa hizi ukiangalia mwaka wake mwingine amefika 24, mwingine 23, mwingine 26. Sasa hiyo tunaonyesha itakuwa overage. Na overage naye iko na process yake nyingine unachukuliwa kama mzee. Kwa hivyo sisi tunaona hiyo ni dhulma kubwa.
Galma pointing out that the identification document would aid the youth in job acquisition, thus reducing the rate of crime as well as other vices in the region. Bar and pub operators in Mombasa County want the government to allow them to resume operations, promising to take a range of measures to keep everyone safe from the COVID-19 disease. The operators under the auspices of Bars, Hotels and Liquor Traders Association of Kenya say they are prepared to adhere to safety guidelines and ensure the well-being of their customers during the current pandemic.
The coronavirus pandemic continues to wreak havoc across the globe, affecting millions in a new normal that has witnessed loss of jobs and associated challenges. And with the hospitality industry suffering the brunt, bar and pub operators in Mombasa County are now calling for the easing of restrictions to allow them operate, albeit partially.
Basi sisi tutajikunja ndani ya sheria ambayo imewekwa. Tutajaribu kutii, na wanachama wangu kwa hakika tumezungumza na tukakubaliana kwamba tutatii sheria na masharti ambazo zimewekwa na ofisi ya bwana Honorable Kagwe. Kwa hakika watu wetu wameumia.
Led by the association secretary Kennedy Mumbo, the operators say they have been out of business for the past 4 months due to the coronavirus lockdown imposed to slow the spread of the viral respiratory disease.
Kama kulala njaa siku moja ndio huleta bugdha. Je, katika kulala njaa miezi 6, miezi 4 hadi sasa kuna changamoto kubwa sana, na huenda ikiendelea hivi wengi wetu wangesema labda tukimbilie kule. Huwezi kimbilia kule na pia kumekufungwa. Sisi tumekuwa kama watumwa hapa ndani. Hakuna njia yoyote ya kufanya ila kujitetea kwa njia ya kumuomba rais. sisi hatumfikii kwa njia nyingine ila njia ya kumlilia hapa kilio cha mtoto kwa mzazi.
Mumbo calling on the government to give a clear guideline on how operators will access the economic stimulus package meant to support the hospitality industry. Patrick Kabundu, one of the bar owners in the coastal city, saying the government should allow them to restart operations, promising that they will act responsibly.
And I believe this is the only way to help the economy and help the small Mwananchi Wanjiko, because now we have to fight for Mwananchiko who's on the ground, who's suffering, he has nothing to eat, na ana kitu ya kutegemea. Kwa sababu serikali imesema itapatiana machakula na hizi vitu zingine zifiki kwa Wanjiko. Sasa tunauliza Wanjiko ana mkono na miguu, wacha arudi kazini ajitetee aweze kusustain maisha yake.
Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.
Now, the World Health Organization has announced that it is discontinuing its trials of the malaria drug hydroxychloroquine and a combination HIV drug for COVID-19 patients in hospitals after they failed to reduce mortality. WHO says trials show malaria and HIV drugs don't cut COVID-19 hospital deaths. The setback came as WHO also reported more than 200,000 new cases globally of the disease for the first time in a single day.
The World Health Organization says interim trial results show that hydrochloroquine and lopinavir produced little or no reduction in the mortality of hospitalized COVID-19 patients when compared to standard of care. It is for the reason that the agency announced that the Solidarity Trial investigators will interrupt the trials with immediate effect. The United Nations agency say the decision taken on the recommendation of the trial's International Steering Committee does not affect other studies where those drugs are used for patients not in hospital. Another branch of the WHO-led trial is looking at the potential effect of the Gilead's antiviral drug remdesivir on COVID-19. The European Commission on Friday gave remdesivir conditional approval for use after it was shown to shorten hospital recovery times.
Said, as of now, there's no evidence that any drug actually reduces the mortality in patients who have COVID-19, and in fact, it's an urgent priority for all of us to do the needed studies, to do the randomized clinical trials, in order to get that evidence as quickly as possible. So WHO is very much in favor of and encourages the continuation of randomized trials that are looking at different drugs to reduce mortality, but also to reduce the severity of the illness. And these are the big public health questions that we are trying to answer.
The Solidarity trial started out with 5 branches looking at possible treatment approaches to COVID-19, including standard care, remdesivir, hydrochloroquine, lopinavir, and lopinavir, ritonavir, combined with interferon. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus disclosed on Friday that nearly 5,500 patients in 39 countries had been recruited so far into its clinical trials and that interim results were expected within 2 weeks. About 18 experimental COVID-19 vaccines are being tested on humans among nearly 150 treatments under the development.
In general, in human infection, viruses tend to evolve to live with humans rather than do more damage. It would be a general process of viral adaptation because it's not in the virus' interest to do too much damage in the host. It wants to survive. We haven't seen any particular signal in the virus's behavior or in its sequence that would lead us to believe that the virus is changing in its nature, is changed in its transmission dynamics, or changed in its lethality or virulence.
The agency, however, says it will be unwise to predict when a vaccine could be ready.
And on the sports scene, Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola is hopeful that the citizens will overturn their Champions League ban. The former English Premier League champions are expecting a judgment from the Court of Arbitration for Sports over the appeal against their expulsion from European competition on July 13th. The club was banned from UEFA competitions for 2 years by the European governing body in February after being found guilty of breaches of financial fair play regulations. The case was heard by CAS last month, and the club has always been bullish about the potential outcome amid the off-field issues. City remains involved in the year's Champions League competition, which is now due to resume in August. City hold 2-1 lead over Real Madrid after the first leg of the year's last 16 tie in the EPL. City is assured of the second position, sitting 8 points ahead of the third-placed Leicester City, with a game in hand against Southampton this evening. Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon. Remember, adhere to government's directive to curb the spread of coronavirus. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter was Byron Abuli. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Very Beauty College.